Hello everybody and welcome and thank you for tuning in to my weekly astrology update. This week we're going to be looking at the week the 30th of March, Monday the 30th of March through to the 5th of April. Now to you regular viewers, and thank you ever so much for your support. It's been absolutely fantastic. Love getting the emails, love getting the interaction. This is what this channel is all about. And as I promised before, this we will be expanding certainly as we go into next week and beyond. So if you're not a subscriber to this channel, and you're interested in anything from astrology to tarot to mediumship, then please press the subscribe button, because this would be of great interest to you. Now, as you may have noticed over the last couple of weeks, there's been a slightly different format. That's simply due to circumstances beyond my control, where I've been unable to make the videos in the normal playlist. But it has actually given rise to a new format that I'm going to be trying for next month, that I've had quite a few requests for. So as we move forward from now through April, what I will be doing, and this will be coming on next week, we'll be producing a playlist of the astrology for the month ahead for each of you guys from Aries through to Pisces. So what you'll be finding posted mid next week, we're going to be looking at the in-depth month up ahead of you and for April, and there's quite a lot happening in April, and this will give you a video that you can refer back to. Obviously I'll be doing my weekly updates as well, but not as in quite as much depth. Now, so this is the sort of last one of the précis. So what I'll do is I'll give you an update as to what's actually happening over this coming week, and then a very, very brief how it will apply to everybody from Aries through to Pisces. So please bear with me, please stay tuned. If I say the format will change, we'll go back to the playlists. Right, we're quite an important week, in fact very important week for some. There's a lot happening. One thing I'm really, really pleased to say is that this destructive Mars energy, which has been bugging us for the last sort of 2 to 3 weeks and has been, energizing perhaps more of the negative side of things, is actually moving out of Aries and moving into Taurus, where again, of course, it's chasing Venus. But it takes a little bit of the energy down, because of course in Aries we have Uranus and also the trigger with Pluto. So that is looking to be a lot more positive. One thing we've got several things happening this week, mostly to do with Aries. Now, as the Sun traverses through Aries, this week we're going to get a conjunction with Mercury. So Mercury and the Sun are going to come together. Now, that has negatives and plus, because as that action actually happens, what you can find is a little bit of confusion as it actually comes together. So, really gets close together. Then you almost get like a road to Damascus moment, where thoughts, travel, anything to do with the mind, anything mercurial really hits off and really hits the spot. So combine that with the Sun also, colliding, conjuncting, however you wish to phrase it, with wonderful, expansive Uranus as well this week. And you can see that there's quite an explosion of energy, quite an explosion of ideas. Now, again, if you are affected by this, it can mean that you find yourself really truly energized, going off in different directions. Travel will be particularly well forecast, although you maybe need to make a little bit of extra time around your plans. But it really does shift and move things forward and get things out of the way. It's going to remove blocks. The other area that we also look at, of course, next week as we go forward is a lot of very positive energy. There's a lot of what we call trines, which help things go through in a very positive light. Now, Jupiter is, given very positive energy, as is good old Saturn, which normally holds us back. So business ideas to do with relationships, anywhere where you're looking to really open the floodgates and move forward with support, is very well starred, if I can use that word, for next week. There's quite a flow of energy, a flow of positive energy. But as I said, do beware of the Sun, Uranus, and also, of course, that sets up a square with Pluto. So it can mean just take extra care around things. Don't take chances, don't cut corners. But that's as far as transport, work, that sort of thing is concerned. But as far as ideas are concerned, then again, caution on you know, not not speaking something too quickly, because you can tend to put your foot in it because the energy is so high. But at the end of the day, things do start to move forward next week, and you know, there's a real sense of clearing out. Now, the other thing that we have also next week, which you probably won't hear about in the news like we did to do with solar eclipse, but we may do, you never know, is of course there is a lunar eclipse. Now, a lunar eclipse has a slightly different effect to a solar eclipse, and if you look a little bit later, I will produce a video specifically to do with lunar eclipses. Lunar eclipses will also be covered in more depth, that those that are going to affect you in the monthly forecast that will be published early next week. So, you know, there's a lot to subscribe for, because if you subscribe to the channel, it means that you get the videos delivered almost direct to your door. You haven't got to go searching on the internet, and I know for some you know, reasons best known to Google, it can be quite difficult to find me on the search engine. So there we go, some things to be moving along with. But so we'll be producing very soon a separate video to do with the lunar eclipse, that you can look at it and see how it will affect you. It occurs on Saturday, which is the 4th of April, and again, it's going to act as an energy to remove a lot of barriers for you. Now, do remember, with the solar eclipse and also with lunar eclipses, they have obviously the impact of the energy when it happens, but also, you know, that energy can last for 3-4 months. 3-4 months forward. So what you're looking at is the trend over the coming months, and there's some really positive stuff out there when we compare to where we were this time last year. Okay, so, you know, just sort of getting briefly on, how does it really affect everybody? Well, the star signs that I'm going to go through are not necessarily they're not in order. It's the order that has occurred to me as I've been doing this. Now, unlike a lot of other astrologers, I like to give this information to you guys really fresh. I think, you know, astrology, as with tarot or mediumship, is a bit like coffee. You know, you want it fresh because it tastes the best. If it's on reheat, then, you know, some of the energy is lost. So I produce my videos literally as they go out. They are fresh, they are new. They're not, you know, produced 4 or 5 months ago when I'm not aware really of what the energy is around. It's just written on paper. I like to work with the energy as well. So just going through for the brief a brief synopsis for the week for you guys. The first one really that comes to mind is Aries, of course, because Aries, you know, that's where everything is happening in your sign. And, you know, for most Aries this week, it is really a week of, I put the notes here, is just sorting the wheat from the chaff. You know, it's getting things out in the open, it's getting things sorted. Huge burst of energy. Smiles on a lot of Aries faces. Then we move on to Capricorn. And the thing here with Capricorn, I feel almost like a decision week. It's the beginning of a lot of energy for you, because we've also got the solar eclipse, as I said, coming in here. And there's a beginning of a lot of energy for you. And it's really to do with decisions that are regarding the rest of the year. There seems to be a decision coming up for a lot of you guys. You've tried things, they haven't worked. You've tried other things and got invitations coming in from other ends, and they are looking very tempting. And this is what this week is all about. It's all to do with your inner self, how you're feeling about those. As we move briefly on to Libra, the concentration this week really is going to be around relationships and other people helping around those relationships. How you see yourself, how other people see you. But it's very much to do with your network. It can be to do with sorting out exes, sorting out problems, sorting out obstacles, last bits of obstacles that have come in your way, bearing in mind, of course, what's happening on the weekend. Then as we move on to, very swiftly on to Cancerians, again, quite a major week for you guys. This, I would say, Cancerians seems to really take the pinnacle, because there seems to be an area around work and relationships with you guys that is going into a great deal of examination. So if it's relationships that necessarily haven't been working, or relationships perhaps that are working and need to be taken to the next level, you'll be concentrating on that area, as well, of course, concentrating on the work area. You know, you've got a lot of major houses that are activated for you guys this week. Quite important, but all positive, I do stress. Then as we move into onto Taurus, was the next one that really sprang. And of course, Taurus this week really is to do, you know, you've got Venus, you've also got Mars moving into your sign. And, you know, this is making you really sort of come alive. It's making you look at issues, especially around your strength, around what you feel is good for you. Remember, this year 2015, if you go back to the videos I produced at the beginning of the year to do with how your year is panning out, it's all to do with transformation for you. And this week again seems to mark a bit of a pinnacle for you guys, where you are moving into a you know, you've got one of these other major steps where you're starting to consider things. It also can be very good for house moves as well, or decorations, or anything to do around the home for you lovely Taurians. When we move on to Gemini, Gemini, again, this is all about finding yourself and who is there to assist you. I do feel with you, Geminis, you know, over the last week, couple of weeks, things have been moving forward for you. It's not been a slow time. And now, again, is a time when you come to this week of what do I keep and what do I get rid of. It's quite a road to Damascus, for want of a better word, for you guys. You know, you're starting to really come alive, you're starting to open your mind up and realize just who you are and where you're going and what is wanted in your life and what is not. Leo, interesting week, you know. I mean, Leo, as we go forward into April, there's going to be a lot more happening around you, Leo, guys. We've got Jupiter moving forward, which is in your, going direct, rather, as I should say, which is in your first house. But this week is all about expansion for you. If you've been into it, well, not if, I know, as far as Leos are concerned, they've had a bit of a stop-start since really going back to August, September. You're into another term of expansion. You're into another time where things are starting to open out for you, but this is really to do, again, around your own mind, your own education, for want of a better word. So how you're feeling about things, how you're looking at work. Great time for travel. Any Leos that are traveling, fantastic, and there will be quite a few here, because again, you know, your ninth house is very much activated, which is long distance travel. This isn't just travel down to the shops, you know, it's holiday. It's also to do with your own esoteric expansion. So where you wish to go, life, death, the universe, and everything is coming into you guys this week. Quite an expansive week. Again, when we come on to Virgos, you have a week here where you're starting to dig a little bit deeper, a bit of a road of self-discovery here. What is it again that you want? What is it that you don't want? Now, Virgos, you never make decisions quickly. You always tend to delay a little bit, you hold back, but once you make your mind, then it's very much like an arrow. And you know, again, your year is all about finding the real you, and this is one of those pit stops, if you like, one of those bus stops, especially this week. And it will be a changing moment for you where you get things in your mind, you think, yes, that's really now what I want to do. So starting to concentrate on your mind, on the deeper issues. As we move on to Sagittarius, well, Sagittarius, you seem to be breathing new and exciting air. Something has happened with a major change, I feel, around you. Change of direction. Something good, I feel, has come in. There's new energy come in that's giving you a fresher lift and a fresher look. And this is a great week for expansion. Lovely week for meeting new people, getting involved in new projects. And you know, just generally letting your hair down. There's a release of energy for you, and also well supported. As we move on to Scorpio, the ongoing trend for you guys has really been around work and routine over the last couple of weeks, and this I feel really is no exception, but I do feel it brings things to a little bit more of a close. So expect change around your work environment, your routine, or your health environment, bringing something to an end. And you know, when you have the energy of the sun, it injects new life, it injects new vigor into that area of your life. So that, you know, you can be taking up a new fitness regime. You can be becoming more and more conscious of healthier living, and you could also becoming more conscious of just generally improving the routine and the work environment that you are in. Very, very positive week for you, Scorpios. You're just, you know, you're coming out and you're moving forward there. As far as wonderful Aquarians are concerned, the concentration with you guys this week is really around communications. Now, you can be a little bit off the wall, and I want to say that there's possibly a need here just to perhaps rein in what you want to say and who you want to say it to, because you could upset people just by, you know, your your way of seeing things and necessarily someone else's way of seeing things aren't the same. But there is a need to clear the air with a situation, and I do feel this week is all about that for you. Also very good for contracts. Looking at them very, very carefully. Again, if you're in a house move situation, this can be a time when suddenly things start to move forward. Contracts come in, contracts get signed, and you can see things moving clearly ahead. Very much around, as I said, communications and getting things clear in your head. So an uplifting week, really, for you, Aquarius. Getting things sorted, seeing things clearly. Move on to last but not least is wonderful, wonderful Pisces. Now Pisces, the inference around you at this moment is all really to do with work, finances, getting those finances just tweaked and ready so that you can propel yourself forward through April. And it is an area I feel where you've either had negotiations or you've been reconsidering or you've been looking at, but work will be the main issue. And I want to say that work seems to lay itself to rest this week and puts a big smile on your face. So thank you very, very much for listening and bearing with me during the difficulties I've had over the last couple of weeks. But as I said, as we come back to next week, we should be more or less cooking on gas. I will be producing the playlist, but we will be producing them on a very much in-depth monthly basis. So if you want to know what April holds for you, then stay tuned and subscribe. If you like the video, please press the like button. Any interaction I absolutely love. Of course, you can get in contact with me on the webpage and the email, which is at the bottom of the screen. And until we speak again next week, have a fantastic week. Thank you very much and look forward to speaking to you again next week.